Okay, so here are your notes on collisions. This is talking again about momentum. So remember, momentum is mass times velocity, and it's just kind of how much, like, not inertia, but almost related to inertia as well. Okay, so today we're actually going to talk about items that collide with each other. Okay, so a collision is going to occur when two or more objects come into contact and exert a force on each other. There are two different types of collisions. We have elastic and inelastic. So we're going to do the elastic side first, and this just has to do with kind of how objects collide with each other and how they behave. So with elastic, we can think of these as like bouncy. So these that are where objects are going to bounce off each other. Okay, so key here is that they are bouncing off each other. So for example, if we are playing pool, whenever you hit a pool ball, you hit the cue ball to another ball on the table, they're going to bounce off each other. They hit each other and they bounce off each other. So in an elastic collision, momentum is actually going to be transferred from one object to another. So that is an elastic. Elastic is where you have two objects, they hit each other, and they're going to bounce off each other. Inelastic, we can think of these as sticky collisions. Okay, so when two objects with an inelastic collision, they're going to stick together. And mostly they will also continue moving. They're just going to be moving together. An example of this would be like in a car crash. A lot of times in a car crash, the two cars will get stuck together through the pieces of metal, and they continue moving. So in an inelastic collision, momentum is shared. Momentum is shared. So elastic momentum is transferred, and elastic momentum is shared. Now, all of these are going to still fall under something called the law of conservation of momentum. And this just states that if no outside force acts on the two objects, then the total momentum will not change. So essentially what this means with collisions is that the momentum before the collision there. Collision is going to equal the momentum after. Okay, so the momentum does not change before or after a collision. Right? So collisions, we have two or more objects coming into contact with each other. There's two different types of collisions. We have elastic or inelastic, and that just is based off of what happens to these two objects after the collisions. Do they bounce off each other or do they stick together? And then every collision is going to follow the law of conservation of momentum as long as there's no outside force, and that means the momentum before is going to equal the momentum after the collision.